Hey everyone, my name's Adam. I'm an independent psychologist. Tonight, we have many powerful stories to listen to and to reflect on together. Each one carries its own truth, its own quiet pain, and a lesson hidden somewhere beneath it all. So sit back, take a deep breath, and let's begin.
I married the wrong person, and I'm stuck. It's 3 a.m. I'm 7 months pregnant. My husband makes me stay up until after he's fallen asleep because, according to him, I breathe too loud. I'm exhausted. My body hurts. We already have 3 kids. 2 are ours biologically, and our youngest is 6. He's autistic, nonverbal, and still in diapers. This pregnancy wasn't planned. Tonight he screamed at me at 2 in the morning. Called me a piece of shit because I nodded off while waiting for him to fall asleep. He said he has to work in the morning from home and I'm selfish for being tired. I had to quit my remote job to qualify for health insurance during this pregnancy. He earns more but not enough to cover us under his plan. So now, I'm jobless, finishing my business degree that will probably mean nothing. Because I'll never be able to work full-time, not with our son's needs, not with a newborn. Childcare isn't an option for him, so I stay home. I care for our kids, manage everything, and somehow still feel like I'm the problem. My loud breathing keeps him up, that's what he says. But after yelling at me for an hour, he sleeps like a baby. Meanwhile, I'm lying beside him, crying quietly into the dark. My crying didn't bother him. It helped him fall asleep. I feel trapped. I can't survive alone with these kids, but I can't survive like this either. I wouldn't kill myself, but sometimes I just wish I wouldn't wake up. Then maybe I wouldn't have to feel this anymore. Why is it so hard for him to love me the way he says he does?
There's a particular kind of loneliness that lives inside certain marriages. It's not about distance or fights. It's about the slow erosion of safety, when the place that should bring rest becomes the place where you break. What she's describing isn't just exhaustion. It's emotional isolation. A life spent serving everyone else, while slowly disappearing herself. And the cruel part is, she knows she's trapped by responsibility, by love, by fear. Many people in her position start to believe that their pain is normal, that marriage means sacrifice, even if it's destroying you. But love, true love, doesn't demand silence. It doesn't punish weakness. It doesn't make you feel like a burden for breathing. Her question, why is it so hard for him to love me, hides a deeper truth. It's not that he doesn't love her. It's that he loves himself more. And she's been taught to call that love. No one deserves to live their life apologizing for existing. Not for breathing. Not for needing rest. Not for being human. Sometimes the hardest part isn't leaving. It's realizing you've been gone for a long time already.
My friend, let's call her N, lives for drama and gossip. At first it was entertaining, but lately it's just exhausting. Every time we meet, there's always someone new she's tearing apart. Today's drama was about another friend's sister. Let's call her S. We're all in our early 30s now, most of us married. S isn't, and that's fine. She's fun, she's kind, she's just living her life. Her sister mentioned that S broke up with her boyfriend because he raised too many red flags. We all said, good for her. But Nsked rolled her eyes and said, she's not getting any younger. She needs to stop being so picky. Then she added, she can't be fat and picky. The room went quiet. A few awkward laughs. But N just kept going. The irony, N herself is a bigger woman. Married at 20 to a man completely devoted to her. He cooks, cleans, pays for everything. She doesn't work, doesn't have kids, and spends most of her time making fun of him. I couldn't stay quiet. I told her, you shouldn't be talking. You married a man who's obsessed with you, and you're not exactly skinny. Who are you to say someone else should settle? She glared at me and said, what the fuck does that mean? I repeated myself, calmly. Then I left. She's since blocked me on everything, and apparently she brings me up any chance she gets. But honestly, I don't care anymore. I'm just tired. My husband said I could have been nicer. Maybe. But some people mistake silence for agreement. And I'm done pretending.
What we see here isn't just gossip. It's the psychology of projection. A person who attacks others to avoid facing their own reflection. and lives in constant drama, because without it, she'd have to sit alone with herself. People like her feed on comparison. They feel powerful only when someone else looks smaller. But what's fascinating here is a reaction. The storyteller finally broke that unspoken rule, the one that says don't challenge the loudest person in the room. And the moment she did, N collapsed into self-defense. Because truth, even when calmly said, cuts deeper than insult. Her husband's comment, "You could have been nicer," represents another dynamic many face. We're taught to keep the peace, even when peace means silence in the face of cruelty. But silence is what allows cruelty to thrive. Sometimes speaking up costs you a friendship, but staying quiet costs you your self-respect.
Things got bad between us after the first year, but we didn't break up. There was a lot of hurt in between, and somehow we just kept going. The reason we're breaking up now. 3 years ago, someone took advantage of my drink being left alone at a friend's house. You can guess what that led to. When I went home the next morning, it was chaos. I told him what happened. I showed him the marks. But he looked at me with disgust and said, "You let another man touch you? I can't get that image out of my head. How disgusting can you be?" Since that day, our bedroom life was gone. He said he forgave me, but I could feel it, he didn't. For 3 years he carried that hatred quietly, until 3 nights ago. That's when it all came out. He told me he still resented me, that I should have gone to the cops, that he could never see me the same again. My whole adult life has been with this man. We met when I was 18, he was 23. 2 kids, 2 dogs, a house we built together. No. Now it's gone. I don't know how to move forward. I don't know how people survive things like this, but I guess I'll find out soon enough. This story isn't about betrayal. It's about trauma, and how pain can ripple through 2 lives until love itself becomes collateral damage. The husband's anger came from helplessness, not hatred. When something happens to the person you love and you can't protect them, that helplessness mutates into blame. And sometimes the only person left to blame is the victim. But what's truly tragic here is that both of them were victims. She, of someone's violence. He, of his own inability to process it. Neither ever healed. They just carried the wound for years, pretending it was gone. You can build a home on shared trauma, but it will always shake when the memories resurface. What she's feeling now, the emptiness, the fear, the loss, isn't just the end of a relationship. It's the beginning of rediscovering who she is, beyond what happened to her. And that's the hardest part of healing. Learning to exist again, when your entire life was built around surviving. I wasn't going to post another update, but I feel like we're all in this together now. Long story short, I'm in love with my best friend, but when he introduced me to his coworkers, he called me his sister. I tried to talk about it, without admitting how I really felt. He told me he used to have feelings for me, but now he only sees me as family. So, I listened to everyone who said I should be more direct. And I was. A few days ago, he sent me a TikTok. Said something like, "To my girlfriends, if you've never been fed right, it's my duty to show you what good DCK feels like." So I took my shot. I sent him one back. "When he calls you his sister, but should be calling you his soulmate." He just sent a laugh emoji. I said, "I'm serious." Hours went by. Silence. Then he called and asked, "Does that TikTok mean what I think it means?" I said, "If you think it means I feel like we're meant to be together, but you're out here calling me your sister, then yeah, that's what it means." He went quiet, like completely silent. I had to check if the call had dropped. Then he asked, "Where is this coming from?" I said, "I've had feelings for you for a long time." And that's when it happened. He told me he's never dated anyone my size, and he doesn't know how that would work. For the record, I'm 5 feet 7 inches and 432 pounds. He's dated women 5 feet 3 inches, 200 to 250 pounds. So it's not about the weight. It's about me. Turns out, months ago when we went to lunch after my doctor's appointment, he saw my weight on a paper in my car. That's when he started looking at me differently. He said it wouldn't be logistically possible, but also said, "I know you have everything I want in a relationship. You always fill in the gap when I don't have a girlfriend." I just sat there, numb. And for a second, just 1 second, my brain went, if I lose the weight, maybe he'll love me. And then I hated myself for even thinking that. We haven't talked since. I booked a therapy session. And I think this friendship is over. Thanks, Reddit. He told me to be honest. And now I finally know how he really feels.
This isn't a story about unrequited love. It's about the brutal moment when someone confuses your body for your worth. What happened here is emotional dissonance. He knows she fits everything he wants, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, but because of his own insecurities, he can't reconcile that with how she looks. So instead of facing his bias, he hides behind logic, calls it logistics, as if love is a math problem. That's not rejection. That's cowardice disguised as reason. And her instinct to immediately think, if I change, maybe he'll want me, isn't weakness. It's conditioning. The world teaches women that love is something they earn through appearance, not something they deserve by existing. But the truth is, you can lose every pound, change every part of yourself, and still never be enough for someone who can't see your soul through your skin. Healing here isn't about moving on from him. It's about unlearning the belief that you need to shrink to be loved.
I'm a mother of 2, and I deeply regret having my son. When he was little, he was sweet, quiet, affectionate. Different, yes, but gentle. He was diagnosed with level 3 autism at 4. Non-verbal, full-time care, but still. My little boy. Then puberty came, and everything changed. 14. He started breaking things, punching walls, throwing objects, screaming. And worst of all, he began attacking his sister. My daughter is my light. 18 now. In university on a full scholarship. Smart, driven, kind. She also has autism, level 2. But she's worked so hard to understand herself, to communicate, to connect. She has friends. She has a girlfriend she loves. She has a life. My son doesn't. He can't handle noise, light, touch, routine changes. He breaks plates if the dehumidifier is on. He's trapped in a body that reacts without understanding why. Today, I reached my breaking point. We were getting ready for Thanksgiving. My daughter came upstairs from her basement apartment to ask what she could help with. Her phone vibrated on the table. And that was enough. He hit her so hard. She nearly fell. Now she's downstairs crying. With a black eye. My husband's with her. And I'm just sitting here, hating myself for hating my son. I hate being his mother. I wish he'd never been born. I wish I could have just been her mom. She deserves a safe home. She deserves peace. And I can't give it to her. If I could do it all over again, I'd still choose her. But not him. Because I can't love him anymore. I'm too tired. And she's paid too high a price.
This is one of the darkest corners of parenthood, where love and guilt coexist in unbearable tension. What this mother is describing isn't hatred, it's grief. Grief for the child she dreamed of and the life her daughter could have had. The human mind isn't built for a constant crisis. When every day becomes survival, the nervous system stops distinguishing between love and exhaustion, and what she calls hate is often the language of burnout. But there's another truth here. The system fails families like hers. Society romanticizes caregiving, but offers no real help, no safety net, no rest. And when love has no room to breathe, it begins to suffocate under responsibility. Her regret doesn't make her evil. It makes her human, because behind those words, "I wish he was never born," is a mother screaming for help no one ever gave her. She doesn't need punishment. She needs relief, and her daughter needs protection. Sometimes love isn't about staying. It's about admitting that staying as things are destroys everyone involved.
We started dating in 9th grade, after he asked me out at winter formal in 2012. At first, it was just friendship, but we quickly clicked and were officially together by New Year's. From there, we hit milestones fast. We both imagined we'd be married by 2017 to 2018. The excuse at the time? We're young, still in school. I finished college in 3 years, he in 4. Both of us landed dream jobs, a combined income of $144,000 per year. We had some loans, but nothing crushing, and lived in a home he inherited. By 22, our life felt perfect, or so I thought. That's when he started asking about my ring size, dream wedding, whether I preferred gold or silver. 22 came and went, no engagement. 23, same story. I thought any day now. By 24, it was exhausting. I began asking what he was waiting for. His answer, the right moment hasn't come yet. By 25, I realized he often promised engagement only when I was upset with him. By 26, I told myself, he has until he turns 27. After that, I walk away. I prepared my own space ahead of time, and when the time came, I followed through. The separation was peaceful. He didn't protest. 2 months later, he showed up at my place. After catching up, he pulled out the box. There we were, sitting across from each other on the couch. It wasn't the romantic on-one-knee proposal I'd imagined. It felt more like, here, damn. He says I'm overthinking, that he didn't realize what he had until he lost it. He claims he didn't know marriage was that important to me. I want to get back with him, but I worry he'll resent me, or feel forced, eventually. I'm torn, trying to figure out if this is truly sincere, or just a reaction to my leaving.
What we're seeing here is the complexity of long-term attachment and expectation. 13 years together, countless shared milestones, and yet the emotional rhythm of commitment was misaligned. For over a decade, promises were made in moments of conflict rather than clarity. And when actions don't match expressed intentions, it slowly erodes trust. Her reaction, leaving peacefully, was a boundary-setting act. It wasn't about punishment. It was about valuing herself, recognizing her needs and timelines. His proposal after the separation may feel romantic, but underneath there's ambiguity. Is it genuine recognition of her worth, or a response to the absence she created? That uncertainty, that tension, is natural. It's a reminder that love alone isn't always enough. Mutual understanding, timing, and alignment of values are equally critical. She's now faced with a choice: return the relationship with caution, or protect the boundaries she fought to establish. And that is the challenge of navigating love that spans a lifetime, and the importance of self-respect in the face of desire.
We've been together for over 3 years, and I don't even know where to start. My boyfriend keeps hurting me, physically, and I'm so tired and confused. I've begged him to stop, over and over again, but he doesn't. He doesn't take me seriously. He slaps me on the head when I make a mistake. He bites me so hard that I have bruises all over my neck, my shoulders, my back. He hits my legs and my back until they're sore for hours. He twists my arms, my fingers, until I cry. Right now, one of my fingers barely bends. And he knows I need my hands for work tomorrow. Sometimes he even does this when I'm cooking with hot oil or a knife. He'll pinch my upper arm suddenly. It hurts like hell, and my reflexes just react. It's dangerous. I could hurt myself. I've cried so many times. Told him it hurts. He knows. And he still does it. When I cry too much, he apologizes, but in this weird self-pitying way. Like, sorry bro, I won't do anything anymore. I'll just keep to myself. But if I don't smile and forgive him right away, he gets angry. He yells that I'm being dramatic, that I'm pushing it too far. He says he's the victim of my mood. He calls it teasing. He says it's a joke. But I'm covered in bruises. I'm sore. I'm exhausted. He says the biting is how he shows love. But I can't lift things at work without pain. And every time I see another bruise, I feel smaller, weaker. Like I'm disappearing under all of it. I don't know what to do anymore. No, I don't want to live like this.
This story is not about teasing. It's about control, abuse, and denial disguised as affection. When someone repeatedly hurts you, even after you clearly ask them to stop, that's not love. That's domination through pain. The pattern is clear. He inflicts harm, then shifts into guilt, then anger when she doesn't immediately absolve him. It's a cycle, and each time it trains her to accept just a little more. Calling it joking is how abusers reframe violence. They make you question your own perception until pain feels like normal communication. But it isn't normal. Love never leaves bruises. And fear is not a form of affection. The exhaustion she describes, that's what happens when the body and mind are both on alert all the time. That's survival mode. What she needs now isn't to fix him. It's to protect herself. To talk to someone safe, a friend, family member, or professional. And to start planning her way out. Because the moment pain becomes a language in a relationship, it's no longer a relationship. It's captivity disguised as love.
I just moved out of my childhood home. A place full of mold, trash, bugs, and smells. All of it. In my new home, I keep things as clean as possible. I avoid polyester because the texture disgusts me. It's all I ever knew growing up. I worked hard to afford silk sheets, high-quality bedding. I take very good care of my cleanliness. I'm probably a little paranoid at this point. Tonight, I invited my boyfriend over to hang out, cuddle, and watch a movie. I told him I'd take a shower and wear comfy PJs, and I was excited to rest. He arrived, and I was a little uncomfortable. His jeans were dirty, his hair greasy, and he looked like he had used gel. He apologized and said he was excited to see me. I just couldn't handle it. His shirt was scratchy, and the jeans. I couldn't deal with them. We went to the living room to watch a movie. He started getting physical, pulling me into long kisses. I didn't engage. I knew it would lead to sex, to my bed, and I wasn't ready. Finally, he asked why I wasn't interested in him at all. I told him exactly what I've told you. He got upset, moped around, and left. Now I feel like a neat freak asshole, but I don't know how else to handle it.
What we see here is a lingering impact of early trauma on personal boundaries. This woman grew up in an environment of chaos, neglect, and discomfort. Her heightened sensitivity to mess, textures, and hygiene isn't a quirk. It's survival. It's how her brain learned to protect her body and mind from what felt unsafe. Her discomfort with her boyfriend isn't about him personally. It's about the instinct to maintain control over her environment, to create a sanctuary she can trust. Setting boundaries around intimacy, even with someone you care about, isn't selfish. It's self-preservation. Conflict often arises because others interpret these boundaries as rejection. But boundaries are not about punishment. They're about safety. Acknowledging your needs and communicating them clearly is healthy. It may feel awkward or guilty, but respecting your own limits is essential for long-term well-being. In a relationship, mutual understanding and patience are key. He may not fully understand her sensitivity, but she isn't wrong for enforcing it.
I'm 20, and my mother passed away a couple of months ago in February. She and my dad were married for 38 years. She wasn't just my mom, she was our best friend, the glue that held our family together. But maybe only a month after her funeral, my father was already going on dates again. At first, my siblings and I thought it was weird, but we didn't dwell on it. Then he reconnected with a woman he knew years ago. She reached out after seeing a video of my mom's funeral online, just to check in and see if he was okay. Weeks later, he told us he was talking to someone new. First, just friends, he said. Months passed, and I saw my dad less and less. He started leaving Friday to visit her in Ohio and coming back Monday. They grew closer, started dating, and then got engaged. They even began building a house near where I live, since I'm still in college. Neither my siblings nor I agreed with how quickly this happened. It felt disrespectful, even strange, so much so that my brother cut off contact for a while. We explicitly told him we didn't want to see or interact with this woman, but he kept bringing her around, ignoring our wishes. Now, they're planning a wedding in December in Ohio, and they invited me. I'm left conflicted, unsure if I should go.
What we see here is the tension between grief and personal boundaries. Losing a parent, especially someone who was both caregiver and anchor, shakes your sense of safety and belonging. For this young man and his siblings, their father's quick romantic involvement feels like a betrayal of both memory and timing. It's not just about the new partner. It's about how his presence impacts their grieving process. Grief doesn't have a timetable, and the desire to move forward too quickly can inadvertently cause emotional harm to those left behind. Feeling conflicted about attending the wedding is a natural reflection of loyalty, respect for memory, and unresolved emotions. Setting boundaries, even with a parent, is not disrespectful. It's a way to protect emotional well-being. He can choose to honor his feelings while acknowledging his father's path. Sometimes preserving your mental and emotional health means saying no, even when others expect a yes. And that choice is valid.
My fiancé said he was tired, and I said, "Oh, me too." He got upset, rolled his eyes, shook his head. I could tell he was irritated, so I apologized multiple times. He said I shouldn't have added to the conversation, and just let him speak. In my mind, I was agreeing, like, yes, me too, I understand. But he interpreted it differently, as if I were complaining about also getting up with the baby. I meant nothing by it, nothing at all. A little context. I'm 33, he's 38, we've been together about 15 years. We've had our ups and downs, arguments where both of us were wrong, and arguments where one of us gets defensive. He was supportive during my pregnancy, when I literally did nothing around the house. He didn't complain. I've been dealing with postpartum depression and prior depression. Sometimes we both come off as abrasive, especially under stress. He does tree work, which isn't safe if he's tired during the day, and I respect that. I too am struggling, going back to work, caring for the baby at night. I've cried to him multiple times, and he supports me. But in the moment, his comment rubbed me the wrong way. We've worked on communication over the years, but sometimes we revert back to old patterns. I just needed reassurance that I wasn't out of line for saying what I did. Because as any new parent knows, boundaries and expectations blur when a new baby is involved.
This story is a reminder of how stress and exhaustion can distort communication. Both partners are overwhelmed, juggling new parenthood, sleep deprivation, and past patterns of interaction. The smallest comment, even well-meaning, can trigger misinterpretation. Here, the woman's intent was simple: agreement, connection, empathy. But her fiancé perceived it as a critique, a complaint. And in moments like this, old relational habits resurface. What's important to notice is that this couple has history, resilience, and a pattern of working through conflict. The misunderstanding doesn't signal failure. It signals fatigue, the need for patience, and explicit communication. Sometimes it's not about who's right or wrong. It's about slowing down, checking in, and acknowledging the weight each person carries. Even one phrase, "I hear you," "I see how tired you are," can prevent a small misunderstanding from becoming a larger conflict. Thank you so much for watching. Today we tried something a little different, a new format with stories and reflections. I hope you found it engaging and meaningful. If any of these stories resonated with you or sparked your thoughts, please share your experiences or opinions in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Remember, even in the most challenging moments, we're never truly alone. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.